Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. On this episode of General Hospital, Tracy becomes unduly protective, Elizabeth receives Lucky's test results, Wiley meets his great-uncle Lucas, and Aiden opens up to Lucky. Liz watches as Lucky approaches Aiden outside Lulu's hospital room. She takes them to a private reunion in a meeting room. By himself, Lucky regrets not getting back to Aiden's messages but reassures him that it wasn't for lack of concern. Though he didn't want to tell him via email or video conference, Aiden had a lot to say to him. "Dad," he nervously says, "I'm gay." Diane learns that Holly is in town from Robert when she arrives at his office. She is his present, he tells her, Holly is his history. He apologizes for the kiss he shared with Holly the last time and swears it won't happen again. As long as her lips are the only ones on his, Diane tells him she has no doubts, appreciating the openness. They share a kiss. A knock on Holly's hotel room door is heard as she is on the phone discussing diamonds. After hiding a diamond, she lets Brennan in with a bottle of bubbly. He introduces himself as the WSB station chief for Port Charles. While Brennan unscrews the cork and inquires about Sidwell's procedure, she conceals the diamond twice. Holly claims that because Sidwell never discussed business with her, she is unable to assist. They talk about Robert for a little while until Felicia comes over to see what Holly has been up to. Brennan is specifically interested in knowing that. Tracy visits the kitchen at Quartermaine, where Violet composes her father a letter every week. Tracy is informed by the young girl that she punched the boy who called Finn inebriated. Tracy, who is empathetic, informs her that having a violent reaction is inappropriate. The next time he teases Violet, she tells her not to respond at all because that's precisely what the lad wants. Rather, she teaches Violet how to say, in French, "I don't have time for you," in a condescending manner. She then steps out to harshly contact her lawyer. Gio enters the kitchen and expresses Violet his sympathy for not being with their parents. Lois listens in from across the corner, beaming with emotion. After finding her, Tracy reassures her that she has resolved the matter with Violet. Violet's principal meets with Chase and Brooklyn in his office. He is aware that Violet is going through a difficult time, but he is sure they will get through it together. They concur that continuing contact and going to therapy are smart ideas. The principal lets Diane in and watches them go. In the event that Violet's one transgression is used against her, she threatens to file a lawsuit. Chase and Brooklyn pull Diane aside and reassure her that they've handled it, knowing that Tracy sent her. Shortly after, Willow and Wiley arrive at Bobby's, followed by a tearful Lucas. Willow and Lucas greet one another, and then Wiley is thrilled to see his great-uncle Lucas. Michael offers Lucas an awkward hug as they arrive, and Maxie greets Lucas home with joy. Following additional awkward small talk, Lucas apologizes and departs. Maxie goes after him. Michael and Willow talk about Lucas at a table as Wiley wears headphones. With Wiley, Michael knows he eased their burden when he didn't have to. Willow describes Michael in the same way. She's a mom, and she owes it all to him. Wiley is drawn in when they tell him of his previous residence with Uncle Lucas, who looked after him. Wiley takes off, unfazed, anticipating their boat day. At Bobby's burial, Maxie discovers Lucas. He is overjoyed by Wiley's apparent happiness and gushes about him. Though it was difficult for him, he knew Michael would provide him with an amazing life. He'll be an amazing uncle now. Maxie tells him she's back with Spinelli and that she's extremely happy when he asks how she's doing. All he has ever desired for her is that. She reciprocates the sentiment and asks about his personal life. He begs her not to push him in the direction of a relationship or try to set him up. She agrees, sort of, but not really. Brennan leaves Holly in her hotel room, telling her to get in touch with him if she remembers anything. After their previous encounter, Holly confides in Felicia that she is afraid to see Robert again. Also, she is hesitant to reach out because of Mac's disapproval. Felicia tells her to find a way forward with Robert, she'll handle Mac. Lucky takes a moment in the hospital to comprehend Aiden's statement. I'm your father, and I love you without exception, he declares in the end. If Aiden has ever questioned that, he apologizes, but he assures him that nothing will alter how he feels about him. As they embrace, tears rise up in both of their eyes. Later, Lucky is reminded of Luke when Aiden tells his father about his baking company, and Luke would find it to be pretty awesome. After fresh reassurances from the principal concerning Violet, Brooklyn and Chase return home. Violet is informed that although the principal thinks highly of her, she will be suspended for the remainder of the week and will need to apologize to the boy at school. Brooklyn also makes fun of her grandmother for reporting Diane. Holly enters Robert's office trembling. "It's about time you showed up," he says. She asks, "You've been waiting for me?" "My entire life," he answers. Liz receives a call regarding Lucky's test results while she is worrying to Terry about Aiden and Lucky at the hospital. She enters the meeting room just as Aiden is in awe of all the locations Lucky has been. As Lucky vows he won't leave Port Charles until he sees Aiden, Aiden gets up to see a buddy. After the teenager leaves, Elizabeth informs Lucky that he isn't a good fit for Lulu. Next on General Hospital, Dante angrily informs Rocco it's not happening after Lucky erupts at customers in Bobby's. "I refuse to allow it." Maxie finds Lucas at Bobby's grave. He gushes about Wiley, thrilled with how happy he seems. It was hard for him, but he knew Michael would give him a wonderful life. Now, he'll just rock the uncle role. When he asks about her, Maxie says she's back with Spinelli, assuring him she's very happy. That's all he's ever wanted for her. She reciprocates the sentiment and asks about his personal life. He begs her not to try and set him up or push him toward a relationship. She sort of but not really agrees. In Holly's hotel room, Brennan tells her to contact him with anything she might remember and leaves. As the women catch up, Holly tells Felicia she fears seeing Robert again after last time. Also, Mac's disapproval is keeping her from reaching out. Felicia urges her to find a way forward with Robert, she'll handle Mac. At the hospital, Lucky takes a minute to process Aiden's declaration. Finally, he says, "I'm your father, and I love you without exception." He's sorry if Aiden's ever questioned that but assures him nothing will change the way he feels about him. Tears well in both their eyes as they embrace. Later, as Aiden tells his father about his baking business, Lucky is reminded of Luke, who would think that's pretty cool. After more reassurances from the principal about Violet, Brooklyn and Chase return home. They tell Violet the principal believes in her, but she has to apologize to the boy at school and she's suspended for the rest of the week. Brooklyn also snarks at her granny for sending in Diane. Sidwell told Anna, Jason, Lucky, and Holly the new regulations to the game. Jason and Anna would both survive if Jason prevailed in a card game. Holly and Lucky would be able to survive if Lucky prevailed. They would all perish if Sidwell prevailed. Holly spoke up swiftly, seeming to throw Jason, Anna, and Lucky under the bus while pleading for her own life. Sidwell was still enraged. Before securing Lucky and Jason's seats to the card table with handcuffs, Sidwell ordered his thugs to remove Anna and Holly. Sidwell took a seat to play but was soon called away, so Jason and Lucky were left on their own. Lucky was informed by Jason that his purpose for being there was to bring Lucky home. Jason eventually broke the terrible news to Lucky that Lulu needed a liver transplant and that he might be her only chance, despite Lucky's insistence that he could take care of himself. Before Lucky could process any of this, Sidwell came back for a decisive card game. Jason gave up fast, allowing Lucky to win. Sidwell marveled at how Holly always managed to land on her feet as he ordered the guards to remove Jason. Admire B&B, Days, General Hospital, or other soap operas. Participate in the discussion on our SC boards. To interact with fans and start a conversation right now, click this link. When Holly and Anna were alone in a cell, Anna questioned why Holly had not attempted to assist Lucky earlier. Holly clarified that she was unaware that he needed to give Lulu a portion of his liver. Holly was enraged because Anna and Jason had disrupted all her plans to gain millions from Sidwell. Anna urged Holly to have Robert tell Robin how much Anna loved her since she was certain that Holly would live and Anna would die. After their marriage, Holly remarked to Anna that it had been the sweetest time in my life. Anna observed that Robert was satisfied with Holly. But if you pass away here, Robert will never be content again. I just can't think out a way to prevent it, Holly said. At that moment, the guards showed there and dragged Holly outside while throwing Jason in the jail. Jason expressed his regret to Anna for the game's loss. I knew you would, a knowing Anna remarked. Anna quickly lost it and started to wonder if they would survive. Jason tried soothing Anna, but then he threw caution to the wind and planted a kiss on her. Sidwell was back in the poker room, threatening Holly and ready for another round. As Lucky hurried to free Sidwell from his handcuffs, Holly finally gave him a slap across the cheek. Holly reached for Sidwell's revolver, but as soon as Lucky removed his handcuffs, Sidwell smacked it out of her hands. Stella ran into a thoughtful Tracy in the park. Tracy sat there looking glum while Stella babbled on about the weather. Tracy was unhappy that Stella had come for their appointment on time, which Tracy considered late. Stella became irritated as she saw Tracy wasn't genuinely upset about being late. At last, Tracy acknowledged that she was displeased with two employees at Quartermain because they were insubordinate and ill-mannered. Stella concurred that employees shouldn't act in such a way while on the job after Tracy revealed that Sasha had hosted a brunch for Cody's family. But Tracy had to acknowledge that Sasha and Cody had taken the day off to attend the brunch. Stella realized right away that Tracy's true issue stemmed from her feelings for Cody. Tracy promptly disclaimed to be in love with Cody. Stella expressed her opinion that Tracy shouldn't feel that way, but she could understand if she did. That Cody's a tall drink of water, Stella said in jest. Stella realized that Tracy considered Cody a close friend and that Sasha and Mac were not the people she wanted to replace her. Tracy had lost two pals that year, Finn and Gregory, Stella pointed out. Stella didn't want to lose another friend because she knew Tracy was going through a difficult moment. At last, Tracy acknowledged that Cody made her think of Luke. Stella and Tracy carried on their conversation, discussing loves, families, and former friends. In the end, Tracy expressed her regret for her behavior and expressed her hope that Stella would be open to another meeting. Are you still not able to identify it? Stella smiled and remarked, a good friend when they're sitting right next to you. As James arrived at the Quartermain stables for his riding lesson, Sasha and Cody were having a private moment. In order to allow James and Cody to spend quality time together, Sasha made herself unavailable. Cody was asked about his relationship with Sasha by James. James was told by Cody that Sasha was someone who had faith in him even when he had no faith in himself. Later, just as Tracy entered the stables and gave them a sharp look, Cody and Sasha began having sex on the table. Drew quarreled with Ned on Valentine's standing in the Quartermain solarium. Similar to Michael, Drew made fun of Ned for choosing to work with Valentine. We've all made mistakes, Drew, including you, Ned replied. Drew insisted a new CEO was necessary for ELQ. Drew wanted Michael to take over, but Ned felt he should be the one. Ned brought up the fact that Drew had only taken on the Quartermain surname in order to run for office as they continued to quarrel. Ned also brought up Drew's legal issues with the SEC. Before things became too heated, Willow and Michael entered. Drew indicated that he had nominated Michael as the next CEO of ELQ. Willow went to the boathouse in order for Michael to get together with Ned and Drew. Drew pretended to be leaving as well, asking Ned and Michael to work things out. Ned told Michael that while he trusted Michael, he didn't trust Drew once Drew left. I acknowledge that Drew is a quintessential Quartermain. He is self-centered and will take what he wants even though you have good intentions, Michael. That doesn't guarantee Drew does too. I can never trust him completely. Ned remarked, you wouldn't either if you were intelligent. Later, when Ned and James had some time to ourselves, James asked him if he ever gave anyone kisses. Ned acknowledged that he did, but only with Olivia, his wife. Although James observed that Maxie and Spinelli enjoyed sharing kisses, he had a question. If kissing makes people happy, then why would one make Willow sad? Astonished, Ned asked James. James agreed to provide Ned further explanations when he was asked. James stated bluntly, I heard Willow telling Aunt Nina that she felt bad about kissing Drew. Later, knowing Willow would be there, Drew found himself at the boathouse. Although Willow was not pleased to see Drew, he wanted to express regret for upsetting her on their date with Michael. Willow at last expressed her feelings to Drew. "I've continually asked you to stay away, and it's like you don't care," Willow replied. Although Willow acknowledged having feelings for Drew, she said they were absolute crap. Drew wished Willow never to feel that way. After that, discontinue it. Give up bumping into me and asking how I'm doing. Willow replied, "Drew, please leave me alone." She had to remind Drew to keep away from her again, and at last he turned and left. So what do you guys think about this update? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like my videos, please press like and subscribe for more. I'll see you guys next time.